a.m. on NBC4.
Breaking news tonight, a stunning rebuke for President Trump as House Republicans poll the health care vote before going down in defeat. A dramatic turn of events and a cliffhanger for millions of Americans, their health coverage left hanging in the balance. Bomb threats surprise, a suspect arrested in that wave of Jewish center scares, a dual American citizen in Israel. How the feds tracked him down. An American killed, his wife left injured in that terror attack in London as ISIS claims one of its followers is responsible. Robocall crackdown, the government taking action to cut down on all those annoying calls that always seem to come at the worst times. And baby cuddlers inspiring America with some of the most important jobs at the hospital. Nightly News begins right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. Late today in a high-stakes game of chicken, President Trump and House Republican leaders blinked at the last minute, choosing to delay tonight's scheduled vote on a health care overhaul bill rather than face the humiliation of an all but certain defeat. To call this day in Washington dramatic would be an understatement. The president swept into office partly on the strength of his negotiating skills, rebuffed by members of his own party during a face-to-face White House meeting. With the handwriting on the wall, the House leadership putting off the vote, buying time to find the votes needed for passage. All of this happening on the 7th anniversary of the passage of Obamacare. White House correspondent Hallie Jackson begins our coverage.
Tonight, the Republican plan to kill Obamacare flatlining. The president and Paul Ryan scrambling to save it after a day that started with signs of life. At 11:30 this morning, members of the Conservative Freedom Caucus, most of them holdouts, arriving at the White House to hear the president's personal pitch that started with a standing ovation, as one White House staffer tweeted, and a compromise on the table. A deal to cut back essential health benefits, which, under Obamacare, made insurers cover things like maternity care, mental health services, and emergency room visit. Some conservatives, who want prices to be lower and government to be less involved, say removing those benefits gives people more choice.
Fundamentally, it doesn't work in the long term because while men don't get pregnant, women don't get prostate cancer. The system works best when we have a large pool of people, some of whom need some services.
The proposal wasn't enough. The mood turning grim, with one White House source describing the meeting to NBC News as tough. The sticking point? Coverage for pre-existing conditions and kids under 26 staying on their parents' plans, things President Trump promised and won't budge on. By early afternoon, lawmakers were publicly predicting failure.
There are not enough votes as of 1:30 today.
I don't think there can be a vote tonight because they don't have the votes.
Even so, at 2 p.m., the White House was insisting the bill had a positive prognosis.
So there's only Plan A.
Right.
At this point, is there an acknowledgement that perhaps there does need to be a Plan B if this vote doesn't happen tonight?
Plan A.
That's what the president was counting on.
Today, the House is voting.
Except the House wasn't voting. At the very same moment President Trump was holding his healthcare photo op with truckers, the alarm sounding on Capitol Hill. The breakdown coming at 3:30. That's when House Speaker Paul Ryan postponed the vote to repeal and replace Obamacare. 7 years to the day after it was signed into law. The delay, not a defeat, still a serious setback for the millions of Americans looking for clarity on health care and for a president looking for a win.
It's our hope that we'd be voting tomorrow.
Tonight, Republicans will work to resuscitate the bill, with the president dispatching his top aides, Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus, to Capitol Hill.
I am still a no at this time. I'm desperately trying to get to yes, and I think the president knows that.
Even GOP opponents optimistic they can still save it. And tonight, the White House says it's confident this bill will pass, with a vote possible as early as tomorrow morning. But right now, our NBC News count shows more than 30 Republicans would probably vote no, which would doom the bill. All of it as the latest official government estimate shows it would save less money than the original GOP plan. Lester?
Hallie Jackson at the White House, thank you. We want to bring in our political director, the moderator of Meet the Press, Chuck Todd. Chuck, how big a setback is this for the president and Speaker Ryan, and where does this go from here?
Well, it becomes a huge setback if there is no vote tomorrow, as the White House is already promising. If there's no vote through the weekend, then it is a gigantic setback. Look, here's what we saw here, Lester. The president didn't follow his own rules for deal making in the art of the deal. He is the guy that desperately needs the deal. And guess what? House conservatives were willing to call his bluff. They were the ones that were willing to walk away. The president here is desperate for a political deal. The people he's negotiating with have problems with the policy. The president wants a win. The conservatives want to shrink the size of government. They cannot get these two positions to somehow come together when you're essentially having two different arguments. One is a political argument and one's a policy argument. But the bigger picture here is, Lester, as hard as it is to get health care through the House, I have no idea how they're going to get this through the Senate. And whatever it takes to get it through the House makes it harder to get through the Senate.
Lots of drama ahead. Chuck Todd, thank you. Among those still undecided on the GOP health care bill are all 4 Republican Congress members from Colorado, a state like many others where families are on edge as they await the outcome of this fierce battle. NBC's Gotti Schwartz has more from there on how this political fight in Washington is impacting everyday Americans.
At 5 years old, Jude Smith has had so many medical complications. After 300 visits to the hospital, his mother, Alita, has stopped counting.
We go to the hospital all the time, even more so when he was a baby.
She's usually glued to any news about healthcare reform, but not today. It's too stressful.
What do you think of what's happening in Washington right now?
I think that it's scary. It scares me that they might cut Medicaid because it's in line with maybe a political stance.
The Republican plan could mean major cuts to state Medicaid budgets and fewer services for children. According to a nonpartisan analysis, an estimated 600,000 people could lose coverage in Colorado alone.
You're talking about having a whole lot of uncertainty for over 500,000 Colorado citizens.
For 5-year-old Jude, Medicaid has made brain surgery possible, covered medications, physical therapy, even paid for Jude's special orthopedic shoes. Cool. In western Colorado, a special needs family watching the debate with a different view.
We're following it very closely because it's an issue that has affected us fairly harshly.
13-year-old Cabe Cooey has autism, his care covered by Medicaid, but costs for the rest of the family skyrocketed as insurers left the marketplace.
It tripled our premiums and increased our deductibles quite a bit.
Last week, Cabe's mother told President Trump they're counting on him. A tale of 2 families like millions waiting for the vote to determine their future. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, Aurora, Colorado.
And meantime, there is another major political showdown looming in Washington with the confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch all wrapped up. The leader of the Democrats in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, is vowing to filibuster, forcing Gorsuch to get 60 votes. That could set up a showdown with Republicans who could change the rules to make confirmation a simple majority vote. Tonight, authorities in the U.S. and Israel say a man is under arrest for making the majority of bomb threats to Jewish community centers that spread fear throughout the Jewish community in the U.S. and overseas, triggering those frightening scenes of evacuations of children at preschool. The feds say he's a dual American-Israeli citizen. Our justice correspondent Pete Williams has the surprising turn.
Hiding his face, the man accused of making well over 100 alarming bomb threats appeared today in an Israeli courtroom.
We managed to get to that suspect after having concrete intelligence from different security agencies around the world.
Investigators say the calls began 6 months ago, first to New Zealand, then Australia, and then the U.S. starting late last year. Investigators say they finally traced them to 18-year-old Michael Kedar Monday and arrested him this morning at his family's apartment in the coastal city of Ashkelon. Police say he used advanced technology to mask making the calls from his bedroom using a neighbor's Wi-Fi. Other neighbors were stunned.
I'm surprised, of course. I'm shocked.
The bomb threats, more than 160 to Jewish facilities in 38 states, forced repeated evacuations and caused widespread fear. Police say he also phoned in a threat that forced the evacuation of a Delta Airlines flight 2 years ago. Kedar's defense lawyer says he has mental problems caused by a brain tumor.
I think he's a young person with a very serious medical problem that can affect lots of his behavior.
Kedar is a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen, and even though he's Jewish, some of the targets of his threats here say it's still anti-Semitism.
I don't think identity is the issue. The result is still the same, which is a community, as we said, that's had a high degree of anxiety, feeling a sense of terror.
Still unsolved, who's behind the desecration of Jewish headstones in at least 4 American cities.
And though the FBI helped find him, he's being prosecuted in Israel, but he could be brought here to face charges in the U.S., where those calls produced the most anxiety. Lester?
Pete Williams, thank you. There are several new developments in the terror attack outside Parliament in London. British authorities say the man behind it had been on their radar, while ISIS is now claiming responsibility. The death toll stands at 4, which includes an American tourist who is celebrating his anniversary. NBC's Bill Neely has the latest.
Beneath flags at half-staff, police on their knees in a fingertip search for clues to why Khalid Masood began his murderous rampage. He had a criminal record. Intelligence officers had even tracked him.
He was once investigated by MI5 in relation to concerns about violent extremism. He was a peripheral figure.
Until he turned terrorist. Police today searching his home. ISIS propagandists calling him their fighter, but offering no evidence. 8 people arrested in other raids, most suspected of preparing terrorist acts. This was Masood at the wheel of an SUV, speeding on the sidewalk, hitting pedestrians, one woman falling into the river. She's seriously injured. But American Kurt Cochran from Utah was one of 4 killed. He and his wife Melissa were on the last day of a European tour, posting photographs to celebrate 25 years of marriage. She's injured in the hospital. They are offering prayers here at the exact spot where the American Kurt Cochran toppled over this bridge and died. The driver then accelerating, slamming into dozens of people on this bridge on his way to Parliament. There were many American survivors relieved to be alive.
And a car comes out of nowhere and it just hits 4 to 5 innocent bystanders on the street. It seemed like pure evil, and to be honest, I guess that's what a war zone would look like.
Tonight, London is defiant, paying tribute to Kurt Cochran and the other dead with light and silent resolve. Bill Neely, NBC News, London.
Now to the controversy over the claims of U.S. intelligence surveillance on President Trump's transition team. The Republican chairman of the House Intelligence Committee today apologizing to his colleagues for not informing them before going public, then briefing the White House on those claims. But for Democrats, an apology isn't enough. NBC's Peter Alexander now with the fallout.
First, the bombshell.
The president needs to know that these intelligence reports are out there.
Now the backtrack.
It was a judgment call on my part, and that's at the end of the day, that's, you know, sometimes you make the right decision, sometimes you make the wrong one.
Under fire, Republican House Intelligence Committee Chair Devin Nunes expressing regret about going public and going to the president before informing his committee Trump transition communications were incidentally scooped up by U.S. surveillance. Behind closed doors, Nunes apologizing. But the committee's top Democrat is now questioning whether its Russia investigation can survive.
Yesterday, more than any single event, underscored why an independent commission is so essential here.
And tonight, a second Democrat joining Schiff, claiming there's more than circumstantial evidence about collusion between Trump associates and Russia.
There's probable cause to believe that there were members of the Trump campaign who cooperated.
But the White House remains confident about the eventual findings and says the investigation's credibility remains intact.
Why does the White House believe it was appropriate for Chairman Nunes to come and give this information to the president regarding an investigation about the president's own associates during the campaign?
According to his own words, they had an obligation to make sure the president knew what he had discovered. That's it, plain and simple.
Asked if the White House was the source of his new information, Nunes is deflecting.
We have to keep our sources and methods here very, very quiet.
But the president, in a new interview with Time magazine, insists the new revelations back up his wiretapping claim, even though both Nunes and the FBI director have already debunked it. The president here reading from a news report. Devin Nunes told reporters, "Wow," Nunes said, "so that means I'm right." Nunes said the surveillance appears to have been incidental collection.
President Trump also raising eyebrows in that interview by sticking with other questionable claims, including his baseless charge that 3 million people voted illegally in the election, despite producing no evidence to back it up. Lester?
Peter Alexander at the White House tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, stopping robocalls.